Hi everyone and welcome back to Color Analysis Studio. I'm Giulia, I'm a color analyst, and today I'm here with Megan. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So guys, I analyzed Megan already, she's one of my clients, and I asked her to come back because her analysis is challenging. This is a difficult analysis. So guys, if you're looking for a challenge, you're watching the right video. Megan, are you ready to start with the analysis?
Let's go.
Perfect. So Megan, the first step of the analysis is to analyze your undertone to see if you're blue-based, cool, or yellow-based, warm. Guys, remember that the fact that she's, as you can see, quite fair, you know, light blue eyes, fair skin, has nothing to do with the undertone. So if you're already thinking, she's fair, she must be cool, it's wrong. Keep an open mind and see with your eyes what happens when we go from cool to warm. Okay, I'm not gonna say anything, so you can definitely leave a comment down below to let me know if you think that Megan's warm or cool. So we go from cool to warm. We go back to cool and warm. We get used to this for a few seconds. Cool. Is this cleaning her skin, or is this making the skin look a little bit grayer, like something is missing? And this is the warm option. Is the warmth altering her colors? Does the skin look a little sallow yellow? Or are we adding something that looks very flattering, very golden, very vivid on the skin? Lighter colors now. Baby pink, cool, or salmon, warm. And again, baby pink or salmon. Remember, this is not easy, so if you get the answer wrong, don't stress too much, of course, but leave me a comment down below when you're ready. Now, darker colors. Navy blue. Please don't get distracted by the fact that Megan has blue eyes, because as we know, having blue eyes doesn't mean that you necessarily work well with cool colors, okay? Like if you have brown eyes, you don't necessarily work well with warm colors. Navy or brown, cool or warm. Little hint, of course, as you probably understood already, Megan leans cool or warm. She's not extremely warm, she's not extremely cool. She's somewhere in between. So even if you have a preference, it should be a small preference. From blue, imagine a blue coat or a dark chocolate coat. Here we're starting with the warm option, so a cream white, warm of course, yellow based, or stark vivid clean white. And again, from warm to cool. From warm to cool. The undertones analysis was quite tricky so far. You can let me know, do you have a strong preference already, or are you curious to see how gold and silver will work? Usually, when you're a little bit on the edge between cool and warm, you end up here with silver and gold and you find the answer. So be very, very careful now. Silver, so gray, or yellow, gold. Now I think you have the answer, guys. This is really, really evident. From silver to gold. From gray to yellow. And now I can reveal the answer. Megan's undertone is warm, definitely warm and yellow based. Not extremely warm, but definitely warm. So part of the right side of the graph where we find spring and autumn. As you can see, when we place this cool gray here, Megan's skin loses something. It looks like we're missing some pigments from the skin. Those pigments look very, very golden and very natural on her. look at this. Her warmth emerges really, really well when we use warm colors. While on the surface, she might even look like a cool profile.
It even tricked me.
So you thought you were cool?
I thought I
Megan.
was cool. Yeah, I had so many light pastel blues and pinks. Cool ones in my wardrobe, and now I can't unsee the fact that I'm definitely not cool.
This is what we always say. Once you see it, it's really difficult to unsee it.
Yeah, I just look quite tired and pale.
Yeah, exactly. This is a sort of pale, fair skin, like something is missing. We are stealing color from you.
Yeah.
While this is a healthy, glowy, fair skin.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is really, really beautiful. And I'm very happy that you can see it again.
Yes, me too.
Very good.
I love the effect that the gold has on my eyes.
Yes, absolutely. Everything brightens up. Your eyes, your skin, the cheeks. Okay, so everything looks enhanced, enriched, because we are bringing out the warmth that you naturally have underneath your skin. So we understood that Megan's undertone is warm. Therefore, she's going to be spring or autumn, depending on the level of intensity of her colors. In other words, does she work best with colors that are warm and highly intense, like those ones from the spring palette? Or does she work better with colors that are still warm, but a little bit soft, muted, and more gentle? So here we have olive green from the autumn palette, and here we have spring green from the spring palette. Since the undertone phase is finished, we can also uncover the hair, and we can also test the profile, even considering the hair color. So now we want to find the option that looks more like Megan in terms of intensity. Are her colors quite delicate and muted, soft and dusty? Or are her colors quite vivid, radiant and bright? So this is the olive green from the autumn palette and spring green from the spring palette. So the undertone was very tricky. The intensity is actually very easy. So if you want, you can leave a comment down below. I won't say anything at the moment. This is the spring color. This is the autumn color. And again, from spring to autumn. Is it this color that is too strong? Or is it this one that is not strong enough, that is too weak next to her? Please leave a comment down below right now, because I'm about to tell you the answer to this question. Guys, it's quite rare to see a profile that works so well with such a high intensity like Megan, okay? Well, when we go from bright to soft, can you see that this color is not enough for her because it's too soft, too muted? Her colors are not muted, her colors are really radiant. And don't be mistaken with the fact that she's fair. Again, the fact that she's fair doesn't mean that she's soft. This is another misconception. Many people who are quite fair think that they're necessarily soft, but it's not the case, it doesn't work like that. So we have a high intensity because Megan's colors are very radiant, okay, very bright, very vivid. We don't see a lot of gray in her colors, especially in the skin. Why? This color here disappears a little bit next to her colors that are so much more vibrant than the olive green. When we test the colors as backgrounds, you can see that this color is very harmonious around her. It frames her face very, very well.
I really love that color.
You like this color, Megan?
I never would have picked it up before, but I really love it and I'm trying to find it.
Fantastic. This suits you so well. While when we go here, yes, the warmth is working, but apart from that, it's not strong enough. So she can push way more in terms of intensity. This is very, very soft for her. So we know that Megan's undertone leans warm and her level of intensity is high, actually very high. So her season is spring, warm and intense. So Megan, we can confirm again your season as spring. Okay. Now, are you spring bright, spring light or spring warm? In other words, do you work better with the brightest, the lightest, or the warmest colors of the spring palette? Let's have a look at the colors one by one to find out. Let's start with Spring Bright, starting with Spring Green. Megan, it suits you so well. I can't wait for you to find something in this color. Imagine a nice spring or summer dress in this color would be lovely, lovely for you.
I'll let you know when I find it.
Fantastic, yeah. Fire red or Ferrari red, very, very intense, also warm, but most of all, very bright, right? This would be fantastic for you, for your clothing, but also for your makeup. Springs can really pull off a very bold lipstick, so if you want to give it a try, this would be wonderful for you, even for your makeup.
Yeah, that's also on the purchase list.
Yeah, great, fantastic. Oh, wow. Now, royal blue. This is lovely on you, and this is a perfect blue for you. The fact that you're warm doesn't mean that you cannot use blues, but your best blues are warm, like this one, but most of all, very intense. So springs work very well with these intense, happy colors.
Yep.
So for you, Megan, royal blue is definitely better compared to a powder blue.
Definitely.
All right, with sun yellow, we can match your high intensity, and also we really make your undertone emerge, okay, from underneath the skin. This is really, really flattering on you. It makes your skin look very golden, and even your eyes pop a lot.
Yeah, I really love this. I've already bought a matching shirt and skirt set in this color. So
Fantastic.
I'm looking forward to summer.
Beautiful, beautiful. It suits you really, really well, so beautiful. And if you need a purple, this one is absolutely stunning, periwinkle. So slightly warm, very, very intense, not too light, not too dark. It leans dark, but it's not too heavy. This is wonderful on you. Beautiful, beautiful.
Purples, I really struggle to tell whether they're warm or cool.
Yes, they are tricky,
Yeah.
purples, yeah. So this is a good reference. Now you're gonna have this on YouTube to rewatch every time you need.
Lucky me.
So this is the Spring Bright subgroup. Of course, all of these colors work really well on you, Megan, because you're spring, and all springs work with these colors. But not all springs work this well with these colors. So we're starting really, really well with Spring Bright. Okay, what I notice from a technical perspective is that even if these colors are so intense, they don't look too much. They don't steal the scene from you. And I'm also analyzing you, of course, with no makeup, no nothing. So in your real life, even with a little bit of makeup, for example, these colors would be stunning. Okay, wow. Now let's see if we can do even better with Spring Light. This is Apple Green from Spring Light. Lovely. You work very well with this green family.
I love the greens.
This was Spring Green from Spring Bright. So brighter or lighter? So Megan, of course, I'm being picky because these two colors are both part of the spring palette and your spring. So of course they both work. But in order to assign a subgroup to you, I want to do these comparisons. When we compare a brighter green, so a more intense one, with a lighter one, well, the light still works, the brighter one works even better.
Yeah.
It makes your features stand out.
Yes.
Okay, they appear very bright, very intense, exactly. While here, we're going very, very light, which you can work with, but let's say you don't have the need to go necessarily this light, like a spring light would do.
Yes.
A spring light wants to go as light as she can. While a spring bright would prefer something like this. Okay, so with the two greens, we consider spring bright as the winner.
Yes.
Fantastic. This is a beautiful reference for you, for your makeup, apricot.
Yeah.
And even the following one, peach. Consider that these two colors, so the orange and the pink, can be beautiful for your blush, for your eyeshadow, even for your nail polish, lipsticks. Okay, so remember apricot and peach. Keywords for
Yes.
springs.
I really love these two colors.
They suit you really, really well.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Light sky blue. So of course, here we also emphasize your eye color, which is a beautiful characteristic that you have, but at the same time, this color doesn't penalize your skin, okay, because it's warm, it's intense, and it's also a blue. This is one of the best blues you can use. This was Royal Blue from the Spring Bright palette. Now, given that you can even use the two together in a pattern on a dress, for example, let's be picky and let's see if we prefer Royal Blue or Light Sky Blue.
Okay.
From Spring Bright or Spring Light.
Yeah, I can't see too much difference.
It's a small one. This one emphasizes your brightness. This one makes everything look a little bit softer and lighter, which is not bad, but I still prefer this one. It looks like when we can choose between the brightness and the lightness, the brightness does something a bit more special.
Yeah.
Okay, so it looks like you're one of those profiles that should go as bright as possible, not necessarily as light as possible.
Okay.
Like periwinkle. Yeah.
Beautiful colour.
Beautiful, absolutely. And I'd say this is copy-paste what we said before. The Royal Blue and the Light Sky Blue is pretty much the same with periwinkle and light periwinkle. So with this color here, we have the same base plus white. While you do work well with this subgroup, it doesn't look like you have the need to go as light as possible. Okay.
Yeah.
This is Spring Light, the palette that I sometimes call the sorbet palette. Beautiful with this touch of white in the colors that makes them look lighter and a little softer compared to Spring Bright. This is where you want to go if you need very light colors. I still prefer Spring Bright on you. Okay, so let's see what happens with Spring Warm, which is the last subgroup of the spring season. This color represents your basics. Okay, so camel, you can go a little bit darker with chocolate, dark chocolate. You can even go lighter with cream, for example. But here you find a very, very safe space for colors that don't stand out too much, colors that you can easily use in your everyday life, because of course in the spring palette you find many super intense and strong colors, but maybe you don't feel like wearing those colors every single day. If you need something that is a bit more neutral, that doesn't stand out that much, but you still want to be in palette, rely on these browns, okay? And also the warm whites. Champagne, for example, is a beautiful white for springs. Honey yellow, lovely. This is so warm, it has a good amount of orange in it.
Yeah.
Spring Bright and Spring Warm. We can see it even a little more clearly, the difference here. Sun Yellow, Spring Bright, to Honey Yellow, Spring Warm. They're both lovely, of course. This is extremely warm, while this is extremely bright. And exactly as we're seeing, you don't have the need to go this warm. You can, of course, it suits you, but we prefer the Sun Yellow.
Yes.
That is not as warm, but it's brighter. This is exactly what happens to a Spring Bright. Okay, so you prefer the brighter option over the warmer option. And this makes perfect sense with your analysis so far, because your undertone was warm, but not extremely warm, while your intensity was very, very easy to analyze. It's obvious that your intensity is high. Coral, lovely. This is very warm, so we find it in Spring Warm, but it's also quite intense, so even the intensity is working really well of this one. This is wonderful. Do you use it much? Have you found?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, I like that yet.
I think it will be a very nice colour to have in summer as well.
For sure, for sure. And it works very well with gold. At least I really like the combination coral and gold. Caribbean green, lovely. So it's in the blue-green family, quite intense, also very warm, of course, but even the intensity here is working.
I love this color. Really
fantastic.
Nice.
It suits you amazingly. So the Caribbean green, even the royal blue, the light sky blue are all good options if you want to emphasize your eye color. And at the same time, you don't want to miss your warmth and your intensity of the skin.
Yes.
Okay. spring warm works. We still prefer spring bright.
Yes, definitely. I think when you see them all together, it's quite clear that, I don't need to go this warm.
Exactly. This is a subgroup of your season. These are all colors that you can use, but your staple ones are the ones from spring bright. So guys, this is the spring bright frame. Very, very nice. Very high intensity, also a warm undertone. This is spring light. Very, very light with a medium high intensity and a medium warmth. Also beautiful, of course. And this is spring warm with a very, very strong warmth, medium high intensity and medium value. Not too light, not too dark. They all work on you, but I think it's quite evident even here with the frames that the best one is the first one, spring bright. From spring warm to spring bright. Yeah, absolutely. Your skin brightens up.
Yeah.
This is not bad, of course. But here we find your absolutely perfect spot, spring bright.
I love them.
Yeah,
it's so bright.
It's a beautiful, beautiful palette, and it's also quite rare.
Yeah.
So please use these colors because you can. Borderline subgroups. This is Winter Bright. Winter Bright is the sister subgroup of Spring Bright. It means, Megan, that you can borrow these colors from the winter palette, because even if undertone-wise they're not ideal on you because they're cool and you're warm in undertone, the intensity is correct, and the intensity is your dominant feature. So when you choose your colors, the first question that you should ask yourself would be, is this color intense enough for me? Okay, and these colors are intense enough. The undertone though is not perfect. Your spring bright colors are obviously better.
Yes.
Now this is summer light. What do you think, Megan, about these colors?
I just look sick. I look so pale and tired. And
let's say that, especially now that our eyes are so used to seeing you in those beautiful colors from the spring palette, with Winter Bright we could start seeing that the undertone was not exactly correct. Here it's also too soft. It's cool, it's too soft, it's also unnecessarily light. You don't need to go this light necessarily, so this palette is very, very far away from you. Also, I think that superficially you could look like a summer, and I think some of the followers might have thought that you were summer. Guys, this is a summer subgroup. I think you can see for yourself that this is definitely not her.
I don't think grey is my friend.
No, not really. And exactly right, because your dominant feature is the brightness, and grey is what makes colors soft, your opposite. So this is why you feel like grey is not really my friend.
Yeah.
And here we are in a grey down palette because we are in the autumn season. And even if these colors are, think, the brightest of the autumn palette, they look way too soft on you. We can save the undertone because, of course, the undertone is correct, even though you don't need to necessarily go this warm. Okay, you can stop even a couple of steps before going this warm. And definitely this is not your sister subgroup. The Winter Bright palette works better than this.
Definitely.
So guys, we can definitely confirm that Megan is a spring bright, the brightest area of the spring palette, with a undertone that leans warm and a very, very high intensity. Megan, what do you think? Was it fun to rewatch your analysis?
Yeah, it was really fun. I had no idea what was happening the first time.
Yeah,
I couldn't see it. But now I really feel sure I'm definitely a spring bright, and they're such beautiful colours, and I get to have fun playing with bright colours now. So yeah, very happy with my palette.
And maybe you thought you were cool, right?
Yes.
Maybe a summer. How was your experience approaching color analysis before coming here?
Yeah, I tried to figure out what I was for a while, and I think a lot of the information pointed me towards summer or possibly maybe even winter.
Okay.
But I always had a small inkling that I might be warm.
Right, okay.
So it was actually quite nice to have it validated when you did confirm I was warm.
Fantastic, okay. Very good eye, yeah, because in your case, your undertone is not that easy. So even the fact that you thought, but are we sure that I'm cool? Great, a great eye you have.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And Megan, thank you so much for being here today again and for allowing me to film your analysis. I hope our viewers enjoyed analyzing your undertone and your intensity. It definitely wasn't an easy analysis. Guys, thank you so much for watching the video until this point. Remember that if you would like to discover your own colors here in Melbourne, Australia, or online from all over the world, you can visit coloranalysis.au. Also, subscribe to the channel, please, activate the bell, give a thumbs up, do all of the things you have to do on YouTube, and I'll see you very soon on this channel with more videos. Bye bye!
Bye!